Talvehämaruses, kui meri on hall ja taevas selle kohal sama hall, tuleb kindlasti sisse astuda kai kunstikeskuse uksest radikaalse valguse kätte. Norrast pärit Yorgis tegutsev kunstnik Anne Katrine Senstad on mõelnud põhjamaise inimese peale ning tegeleb oma uues valguse heli- ja ruumiinstallatsioonis valge värviga. Ta on loonud neoonvalgustorudest koosneva hiiglasliku skulptuuri, mida külastaja kõigi meeltega tajuma hakkab, kui ta selle sees ringi liigub, olles märkamatult ise muutunud taiese osaks. Kuuleme otse allikast, kuidas 2020. aasta esimene näitus kai kunstikeskuses teoks sai ja missugust sensoorset kogemust sealt oodata võib.
Karin, the director, she contacted me last spring and in planning her programming for the next coming years, and we started a dialogue, and then I came here for site visits.
And did you know Estonia before that?
Not really, no. I've never been to the Baltics before, even though I'm from Norway, but I live in New York, so when I'm in Europe or in Norway, I usually stay in Norway. So I'm very glad to discover the Baltic region now.
You work with light and colors.
Light is my material, my theme. So I've worked with light and color and sound for my whole career, for 25 years. And I've worked with it in various formats through photography and film, and then projection installations, and then using light as sculptural material. What I do is I transform spaces and I define spaces with light itself. And also in dialogue with the space, the history of the space. And I sort of have layers of information in the artwork. So I invite the public to become part of the artwork as well. So I'm using the building as an artwork, you can say.
You came here, and what did you discover? How did you start create your installation?
Well, I have to say I was really, really fascinated by the history of the building, being a former submarine factory, and also the history of Estonia. It's inspired me to look into how I could reflect that through my work, create through abstractions, be able to kind of bake that into the sort of sensorial experience of space.
In this space you use one color. And why white?
White has a lot of connotations. It's a cleansing, and it is kind of the highest humanly readable light of the spectrum. So I've worked through ranges of colors as themes, multi-colors, multi-chromatic spaces, and also monochromatic spaces, but I've never worked with white before. The installation I had in Abu Dhabi consisted of lots of hanging fabrics and transparent, very thin silk, and multiple projectors, and then I included sound, surround sound. It's also creating a sense of beauty too. Being in the northern region in Europe, white has a special place as well, with in the winter lack of light, but then the snow kind of enlightens the dark season, or in summertime we have the blonde nights or the white nights. White has a lot of colors in it. It's achromatic, but it still has a lot of colors in it. So I'm kind of scientifically also exploring what is white, how it exists. I've used a whole color range in whites here, from warm white, a medium warm white, which is kind of a peach pink white, and going towards a kind of light green white, and to the blue cold white. So here we have the pink white that you see, the sort of peach pink white, and here we have the sort of medium eggshell white, and here the blue-white. By combining them together, it enhances the color temperature of the white. So this pink-white, if we would have it by itself, it would look just white. It would actually not look so pink. These are more neutral for us, but the warmer ones tend to really jump out. So it also has to do with color theory, like in Joseph Alber's paint square paintings, where he juxtaposes different color tones next to each other, or very similar color tones. You enhance the quality of the colors.
Yes, optically we see different colors if they are juxtaposed.
There are 5 different white colors ranging from 35,000 Kelvin up to 83,000 Kelvin. And above 83,000 Kelvin it starts to become kind of invisible, like ultraviolet white. Lower number is warmer.
Warmer, and higher is colder.
It's cold, yeah.
Okay, so, but light, as you say, this is like a material.
So this is neon. It's not artificial light. So neon is a gas that allows electricity to go through it, and the electricity creates the light. Neon lights are 4 different gases: neon, xenon, argon, and krypton. So you mix different gases to create colors. So neon by itself is pure red. So this is neon mixed with argon to create these white tones. And then there's a bit of mercury in it too. So there's no krypton or xenon in this. So it's kind of painting with light, or painting with natural gases, if you will. So how does one contain light? So it's here light sculpture, because the light is in a glass tube as well. And it's also, since it's organic, neon is organic, so it moves, so it feels softer, it feels more natural to us. We're kind of naturally drawn to it. LED lights are artificial, so it's kind of colder and sort of, Times Square, busy. While neon is more sort of, it's a bit more nostalgic perhaps.
Kogu see tehniline pool on olnud suur väljakutse, kuid see on ka teinud selle näituse väga huvitavaks ja eriliseks. Et näituse kavandamisega alustasime juba suvekuudel, ja kui me võtsime ühendust kohalike firmadega, kes on meile näiteks neoonvalgustused tootnud, samamoodi ka akrüültorud või meie tehnikud, kes on paigaldanud selle näituse, siis ka nende jaoks oli see väga huvitav projekt. Siin ruumis me oleme kasutanud näiteks 170 neoonvalgustit, mis on 5 eri toonis, vastavad erinevatele kelvinitele, et siin on olnud ka üksjagu sellist füüsikalist poolt, et need kõik valge värvusel põhinev toonid vastavad kelvinitele 3500 kraadist kuni 8100-ni.
Need torud ka, mis on siis kõik toodetud siin Eestis ja see valmistatud on see Eestis üldiselt?
Jaa.
And if we walk here, there are vertical and horizontal lines.
The artwork is conceived as a sort of matrix and a kind of labyrinthian sculpture that the visitor becomes part of. The vertical lines become like portals or spaces, or they enclose us. They are composed in different colors, as you see, and that is inspired by how sound moves as well. So in synesthesia, where there's a kind of mix, but the brain mixes up how we perceive our whole cognitive system, how we see colors or hear sounds. So some people who will see a color when they hear a tone or a number, or so the different ways. So I've kind of like composed a sound piece with the lights as well. So it's kind of a crescendo in the middle here, and then the colder colors in the vertical, the columns around it. And then we are surrounded by a horizon around us. So that kind of creates this sort of sense of perspective where you start to see the horizon kind of come in closer the longer you spend in it. So it also represents the horizon around us where the sea meets the sky. And then the ascension is from the earth up to the sky. So it's sort of this kind of dynamic that's very energetic and then a calming surrounding. that envelopes us.
And the composer?
So I invited J.G. Thirlwell. He's a New York-based composer, to create a piece especially for this installation. And I've worked with him for 20 years on a few different exhibitions. So I told him about this, and he hasn't been to Kai, but he got very excited also about the history of the building. It's a 38-minute loop that travels through kind of different feelings of how electricity sounds, like, or also he's brought in the whole submarine thing. Sometimes it feels like we're underwater. So it's a sort of added narrative to experiencing being in this space and being inside the artwork itself.
Here we have a video, 2 videos.
Yes, this one here is made by Stella Sais, who is an Estonian filmmaker here. And so she made this documentary on when we were installing it. And the second piece is from a Brazilian TV documentary called Immersive Worlds that talked about various forms of light art and experiential art, like theatre or light installation. Force of light or sound, or even sculptures, modernist sculptures, or abstract art. Those remove words, they remove the figurative. So you have to use a kind of different sense of your system, your perceptive system in your brain, and not necessarily try to analyze. I'm cutting away. I'm going to the essence of the experience and taking away the noise.
Mm-hmm. So this is the educational part.
This is the educational part, yes.
And the other one is your second work of
so
art.
in dialogue with the vast external space, we have the sensory chamber. So this is about how we are confined within our bodies, but within us we have a vast space as well. It's a projection onto a bed of salt. Mm-hmm. So salt is a component that is also in most things. And it's also reflective. And the video is very sort of glitchy, kind of old school video glitch, like from the 80s, early video art. So, and then with these like speckles or like this sort of stardust kind of thing. So it kind of echoes that dream world of subconscious, but also the electricity, how it works, and how the gases, neon gases work. Mm-hmm. So that is like we're sensing ourselves, like feel. It invites us to feel be aware of what's going on inside of ourselves.
There are different colors you work with?
Yes, it goes through 6 different colors. So there's always a center expanding and retracting a kind of shape, and then it goes through red and blue and green and black and white with blue in it, and then pink. So it kind of echoes with the colors that I've used in the neon composition.
So this is like inside our mind, and the other is like outside.
Yes, if you think of your body, but we have all the blood is pumping around, and our brain is constantly working. So when you just wake up and you just feel abstract things. The whole idea of radical light is about also expansion and inner freedom, or like liberation, which also the Malevich, the artist of the early 20th century, spoke about as well, as being a kind of driving force.
See kogemus eeskätt on väga sensoorne, et see kogemus tuleb alles siis välja, kui seda näitust külastada, et koostööd just sellised koostöös muusikaga, kogu valguse, optilised mängud, et ma usun, et seda on ainult võimalik koha peal kogeda.